Hello and welcome everybody. It should be about something. That's Michael Smulik.
And this is Jim Libby.
And we're online, hopefully. And maybe the chat is already going. Somebody can let us know that there's picture and sound.
I can definitely tell you what it's about. It's about me and Jim against the technology of the world.
Oh man.
It's like every week it's the same damn fight.
You would think we would get better.
Now you know what we keep doing wrong is we keep thinking, oh, we got this sussed, we've got this figured out.
Yeah.
And we
try something new.
We try new things all the fucking time, right? So here's to trying new things.
Here's to trying new
Cheers.
things. Here's to another week of It Should Be About Something. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Christina's already there. Thank you so very much for joining us. Donna, awesome. Yes, love it. Everything is rocking and rolling. I'm excited because we're here again. I really enjoy being here still.
It's like doing the same thing every week.
There's something nice about that.
Yeah.
There's something really nice about that. You know, in the Corona times, I kind of, you get lost in that miasma of everything is sort of the same. It's like staring at the ocean, you know? It's constantly changing, but it's still the same. It's still the ocean, you know? It's still.
I don't know. I can look at the ocean and not get depressed.
That is a difference. This is where my metaphor breaks down. You're absolutely right. But having these goalposts of it's Thursday night.
Yes. Yes.
8:30.
Agreed.
It should be about something, and I love that. And so I'm really excited that everybody has joined us as well. Look, Balush is here, and Pavlov's dog is here, and Andrew is awesome. This is great.
I wonder whether View Through Trees is here, because I promised View Through Trees I'd play something live on the guitar, but we messed around with the fucking tech so much that I totally forgot to set that up.
Damn.
So View Through Trees, if you're watching, you're going to get your live song, but you're not going to get it tonight, because it's like, oh man.
It just do be like that sometimes, man. Oh, you're on a little bit here. I think we're hearing. It's because your iPad is on.
Yeah, and Belush says, Jim, your microphone sounds funny.
My microphone sounds funny. God dang it! It should.
So what is it? Yeah. It sounds funny is like way too specific, Belush. Can you like?
Oh, you know what?
How funny does it sound?
I know why it sounds so funny.
You didn't have it turned on?
It wasn't turned on.
Okay.
That's the
so
fight.
It didn't sound funny. It didn't sound at all. You were hearing him through my microphone.
So now we should be online and sexy.
Jim's mic doesn't sound like it's working at all.
It wasn't, and now it is. But yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We got it together.
So I think we've got this now. Yes. There you go.
There you go.
Okay. So cheers. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping us do this.
Oh, this is great.
All right. So
I don't know if anybody who's been to It Should Be About Something before. The music that we play at the beginning is from Belush, and Belush is in the audience, and so awesome that you're with us tonight, Belush.
Verena's here as well. Hello, Verena.
Awesome. How's your week been?
No View Through Trees yet. How's my week been? I don't actually know. It's been full of stuff, and it feels like the week has hardly begun. Oh no, wait! It was yesterday. I was talking to somebody on the phone, and she called me. She was going to call me on Thursday. She called me yesterday, and I said, "You were going to call me tomorrow," and she said, "Damn, you're right, but it feels like it's already tomorrow. It's been such a long week." And that's kind of how my week's felt all week. Like, it started feeling that way on Tuesday.
Yeah, totally. Well, that's an interesting segue, because It Should Be About Something comes to you very often in 3 parts. Tonight, it does come to you in 3 parts. And our first part is telephone etiquette.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't realize that was going to be the first part. I was going to go with a whole different first part. You're surprising me.
Well, you just segued so beautifully into it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
You just, you set it up. We just have to smash it down.
Telephone etiquette. Yeah. So this was actually your topic, telephone etiquette. So, you waved at your screen. You did the Zoom thing. You know, it would be so fun to do this on Zoom if we could just have any amount of viewers, right? So you could just have like 1,000 people. I'm dreaming.
I've been on a Zoom call with hundreds of people. Yeah, I was on one where there was like 800 people on the Zoom call, and it was a lecture basically.
Right.
But you would get sent off into groups, and so you had like this. You'd be in a group with 4 or 5 other people. There were 5 continents on this call. I've been on those. It is possible. Well, that's another new thing we can talk about to do.
Yeah, we'll try and do that. And
Kathy Tanner in the house. Awesome. We need a better monitor, because I hate bending over to stare at that thing.
All right. Well, you were supposed.
Oh, this is good.
You were supposed to set up your monitor, but you didn't do that.
You're true. You're right.
Actually, but telephone etiquette.
This is what we're talking about.
This was your topic, telephone etiquette.
Telephone etiquette.
And I guess you were thinking something. So what were you thinking when you said telephone etiquette?
I was thinking I thought it would be nice to talk about what is telephone etiquette today.
Right.
Like, because it has changed. It has completely changed.
It has. You know what I was thinking
What's that?
when you suggested telephone etiquette? I was thinking, Jim wants me to talk about how much he annoys me when he sends me SMSs.
Oh, see, I don't ever come up with topics with ulterior motives. Although maybe I should start doing that. That'd be great. Oh, hey Jim, what should we talk about next week? Well, let's see. What do you think about?
What things bug Michael? Let's talk about them.
Yeah, let's talk about them. Hey, Michael, let's talk about friends who leave their shit in your house all the time.
Let's talk about friends who come to your place and eat everything.
Just an idea. Just an idea. I don't know. Maybe we talk about something. He comes in and eats all of your food, drinks all of your booze, and then leaves. What do you think about friends like that?
All right. I think we should start the telephone etiquette where our experience of the telephone starts. So, like, for me, that would be in the 70s, and for you, like, someone mid-90s.
Probably. Well, that's the thing, right? Okay, so back in the day, we had different forms of telephone etiquette. For you in South Africa, you had to wait for somebody else to hang up the can before you could pull the string.
No way, man. We had rocks in the backyard. We're throwing them at metal things. Okay, so back then, the telephone had its own room.
Right.
And you went into that room to take the call. Very rarely were you with other people when you were on a phone call.
Yeah.
I think mid or late 80s, we got a second telephone. And that was a big deal because we had one out in the foyer, like the entrance room where you could be alone on the phone.
Right.
And then we had another one in the living room because that's where my mom had a kind of office.
Okay.
But she would only ever use that like on business calls when nobody was home and she was using the living room as her office. Otherwise, if the phone rang, you'd go to the one in the hallway and use that phone. And there was this, a little table with you could take notes.
You had my grandma had that,
and a chair next to it, and you could sit out there in the hallway. You could close the doors around you, so you could take your phone call sort of in quasi privacy.
Yeah. Well, like in the late 90s, I remember in Vienna, you always had a place where the phone was, because next to it, you had a book for all of the roommates who would write in when they had calls so that when the phone bill came, they could split up the thing.
No way.
Oh man, I was in so many VGAs back in the late 90s.
Really? Like penny pinching VGAs?
Well, no, you had to have a way to pay for the phone, right? And
this is something we need to, there needs to be an ISBAZ about living in a commune with people. I have some crazy stories about that.
All right, well, let's put that on the list.
Right, now I never lived in a commune where they were picky about the phone bill, like unless you were like doing transcontinental phone calls or stuff.
Yeah. Well, you had the Zähler. You had there was that little box that told you how many Groschen or whatever it was back then, how many.
I didn't have
shilling.
one of those.
Oh, okay. So I was in a bunch of places that had that. I love Andrew's thing, calling the payphone to start a collect call, say your mom. Yeah. This is Mom, can you come pick me up, please? Will you accept it? Please, Mom. Charges? No, thank you.
We used to do that on the payphone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when the payphone connected to your house, it was open for like a second.
Right.
So you could call your house and you'd shout the number of the payphone.
Right.
And whoever was on the other end would write that down, and when they had 7 digits, they'd call that number, and you'd be on that payphone.
Right. So Verena's talking about the Vierteltelefon and the Wahlscheibe. So the Vierteltelefon, we had party lines, and so often you would have more than one neighbor on one line, which is what the Vierteltelefon was here in Austria. Now, back when I was a kid, we had our neighbors. They were on a party line with us. And you could pick up the phone
And listen
while
to
they
their
were on, listen
conversations.
in.
Yeah.
And I remember Mrs. Carlton always yelling from an acre away, you kids, I can hear you breathing. Hang up the damn phone.
When we stayed on a farm with my aunt for a year when I was like very small, like 5 or 6 years old, and the phone would ring, but it'd be the neighbors as well.
Yeah.
And you'd never know who the phone call was for because everybody's phone would ring.
Right.
So you're going to go and answer the phone and be, oh no,
Okay.
it's for them, so for the Johnsons, whatever. You hang up and it'd continue ringing at their place until they'd go and pick it up.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice.
Something else we did when I was a kid was if the phone rang during dinner, we'd let it ring. We'd not answer the phone during dinner.
Oh, yeah.
And when we got an answering machine, we'd let it go to answering machine and kind of screen the call.
Yeah. Well, that was a thing, right? And also, it was part of telephone etiquette. You wouldn't call at dinner.
Yeah.
Or if it's like one of
you
your
wouldn't
friends.
call during that time.
Yeah, you wouldn't call during that time because they're sitting down to dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was telephone etiquette back then. See, look, Pavlov's dog, bad memories of being a person responsible for paying the phone at the dorm. Yeah, exactly, divvying up the bill. But we are going to definitely do it as bad.
You live together with 15 other students? Pavlov. Wow.
University. Hey, we were all young at one point.
We needed the money.
Yeah. We needed our roommates to pay the money. God damn it.
Yeah. I can imagine getting into terrible arguments about who used the phone, how much, and how much that call cost.
The worst.
Ugh.
The worst. Then I remember stories also in Austria where people, with the Wählscheibe, so with the, what's Wählscheibe in English?
Yeah.
The dial.
Dial, that's it,
Just the dial. So in Austria, I remember there was people who had a lock on it.
Oh yeah, like officers had that a lot.
Right, and so that you couldn't dial, there would be a lock on it. But you could get around that by clicking the button, the hang up button, because it was just those impulses, so you had to count it out. So if the number was 203, you'd have to go tick, tick, tick. Oh, I can't remember. What was 0?
Oh, 0 is 10, isn't it?
Was 0 10? It may have been, must have been 10. And then tick, tick, tick. And then if you fucked it up, you had to start all over again.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
A rotary phone.
Yeah.
For the dial, the rotary of the phone. Yeah. I did a show, this is years ago, at a festival in Berlin. And we did a show in the Post and Telephone Museum of Berlin. It was a really interesting place, which had a bunch of stuff about the history of the post and the post office, which was also the telecom and had that stuff happening. And there was this really great story about the automatic dialer. Oh yeah, so this is one of the things we were trying to do.
So, I mean, it looks pretty nice if just you're in the picture, but we've got that thing. Push that out the way. We don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need that. Okay, right. So let me talk to you, Michael.
Yeah.
This is what this is like. This is like I'm talking to Michael.
So the automatic dialer, right?
So the automatic dialer. And so you had this automatic dialer, and the automatic dialer was invented by a dude. And this dude, and this is the story from, I don't know if this is true, but this is the story that we got. That there was this fella, and his fiancée was a woman who worked in the post, in the telecom, as an exchange, as an operator.
Yeah.
The Damen von Amt was what the lady from
the telephone service.
From the service, right? And that was one of the few professional jobs that women had also back then, and it employed thousands of women. In Berlin alone, hundreds and hundreds of women. So in any case, this dude is super jealous, and he believes that his fiance is talking with other men while she's working.
So she's flirting with other men
That she's flirting
while
with
she's
other
connecting
men
them.
while she's connecting them, the Dom and von Amt, right? And so he invents the automatic dialer. It was based on the systems of clickety-clickety-clacks, which turned into this clickety-clickety-clack of the it was the automatic exchange.
Oh, I
So
see.
instead of having women in
Actually
this professional
plugging
job
and saying, "Connect me
doing
to
the plugging,"
0051.
it became automatic, which
Yeah.
was a huge step in technology. It, however, put thousands of women out of
How
work.
does that the title of that song go? Connect me to...
Operator information, give me Jesus on the line. No, you're thinking.
It's a Glenn-
Operator, can
No.
you help me connect this
Pennsylvania
call?
651.
Oh, that's Pennsylvania 65000.
That's it. Yeah. So you'd actually call, you'd pick up the phone and say to the operator, "Connect me to Pennsylvania 65000."
Yeah. And so you had the clicky,
Yeah.
the clicky, clack. So now it's on an exchange, or it's on an automatic exchanger. It puts thousands of women out of work because now they don't have that job anymore.
yeah.
It's a great step forward in technology. Whether the two of them got married or not, I can't remember. But Jesus, if your fiance is so jealous that he invents
Something to put you out of work.
so that you can't work anymore.
Yeah, you should marry somebody else.
I don't know. That's
Yeah. Bad choices in men.
So no more one ringy dingy, a two ringy dingy.
Yeah,
Was that
so Scotchy is what we'd call those. If you just call someone and let it ring once, so that you let it ring once is "I'm home okay," or let it ring twice is "come pick me up, I'm done with work," so that you don't have to pay for the phone call.
right, the codes.
In
So
Denmark, they got round that because as soon as the phone rang, you started paying the bill.
oh wow. Well, those sort of codes, though, I would put it to you, are part of our telephone etiquette nowadays. So, for example, I find very often I won't call people out of the blue anymore. I will often text them
Yeah.
and say, "Are you around for a call?" beforehand.
Text them a text message. Text them a vocal message. Say,
Well, let's get to that. But let me just finish my thought before you fuck with me again. Jesus, he's such an old man.
I have to
In
do
any
this.
Case,
This is what my character does in the show.
I've got a few friends, not you. I've got a few friends.
That was
who-
obvious.
We have,
That was obvious.
we have this sort of code where we'll write "now" with a question
Yeah.
mark, and then if the person doesn't call us within 5, 6, 7 minutes,
Yeah.
then no harm, no foul. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes it can be a stress. It used to be when the doorbell rang, you'd run to the door. Oh my God, we've got visitors, And nowadays, if the doorbell rings, you're like, shh,
Who could it be?
it's probably the kiss.
Who could that be knocking at my door? Go away. Don't be
Don't come in no more. Best off if you
Take
stay
me
outside. Don't come in. I'll only run and hide. Who can it be now?
I like it here with my childhood friends.
That's a great tune. Yeah.
It is. I'm such a huge Colin Hay fan, and the older that man gets, the better he gets. I really like what he does.
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
Andrew's giving a second on the texting first.
Yeah, totally. No, I think that has become our modern day telephone etiquette. Is like, are you okay to take a phone call now? Because we're constantly online and we're constantly in some kind of communication. So I think it's absolutely okay to send a text and say, have you got 10 minutes time?
Yeah.
To talk to me instead of just calling and expecting them to take the call.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Although there is a little bit of also, you send someone an SMS and you expect to get an answer within 10 minutes or within 5 minutes kind of thing,
See,
there's
I think of this-
there's
I
no
can't-
ignoring kind of thing.
Oh yeah, you can totally ignore SMSs. Are you kidding me?
Of course you can ignore them, but if you do,
Yeah.
and it's important to whoever's looking for you, they're going to write you back in 5 minutes and say, "Did you get my text?" or "What's up?" or "Are you still sleeping?"
Yeah. What? What? Wait, I lost you there for a second.
If you send a text,
Yes.
and you don't get an answer to that text,
Yes. Right away.
right away,
Yes.
you can kind of get bitchy about it. I'm not saying you do.
Oh, I see. One could.
One could.
Okay.
Right? Because you expect an answer
Right.
back, like either a yes or a no. Like
Yeah.
some kind of answer, or call me in 2 hours. But if you get no answer,
Right.
you might get hounded for a reaction to that initial SMS.
Yeah, well, I think it always depends also on what the SMS is about. You know, I think there, certain types of messages, and maybe this is where the biggest communication breakdowns happen, because certain messages have a shelf life or a level of severity or in your triage, and maybe your triage of how important it is to answer that message isn't as high a priority as the person
Who sent it.
who
Yeah.
sent it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's where that happens.
Yeah.
The blue double check on WhatsApp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know the person has read it, and now you're just waiting for their answer.
Yeah. You've read it, so why don't you text me back, you fucker? Right? Meanwhile, they're at gunpoint.
Yeah. And you have no idea. You think, oh yeah, well, Jesus Christ, just get your shit together, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
But I think something else has happened.
What's that?
That we're kind of prone to sending texts
Absolutely.
and getting stuck in the sending of texts. And then we send text back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it'd be much easier to settle whatever it is you need to discuss in a very short phone call.
Right. Or to just leave somebody a voice message that is really quicker.
Right.
To just
a really
say
concise voice message that the
rather
person you're
than
sending
trying
to cannot listen to because it's a voice message. And I don't have headphones with me all the time. And when I'm in the underground, I don't want to be playing Jim Libby's shitty messages to the fucking whole carriage.
So, dude, rather than say, don't use this aspect of technology, please, I would suggest that either you learn to listen to things with your phone to your ear, or just wait. Because probably whatever I send to you, man,
It's not going to mean shit in 10 minutes.
it's going to be fine if you answer it in 10 minutes rather than right away.
I've actually gone-
That's why I left a message rather than calling you.
Yeah.
If you get the call, then
I can take
that's
the call on the
severe.
underground. I can't listen to the message on the underground.
Right. Well, then
I would
call
have
me.
taken the call.
Well, there you go.
Well, why don't you call me? You wanted something from me. That's what I'm saying.
The message that was being left was not important enough to warrant
see, okay.
a call. It's not that high on the triage.
Yeah.
It's enough to just say, this is information, deal with it when you can.
I'm not quite sure of your use of the word triage. I'm going to call you on that.
Okay, but I'm trying to use the word triage like prioritizing. Prioritizing.
No, I realize that.
Severity. And I think that's a perfectly valid use of the word triage.
Donna, what do you think?
Yeah. Medical professional, where the word triage gets used the most.
There is a converse. This phone call could have been an email, yes.
Yeah.
I think we really need to think about which mode of communication is the best for whatever it is we need to talk about. If it's going to mean sending text messages back and forth for 45 minutes, make it a phone call. Something that really bugs me about people's telephone etiquette is if you walk into a place of business like a hotel or a shop,
Right.
and you're the customer standing in front of right, you're the business.
Yeah.
You're the business in hand.
You're
right?
triage, number one, highest priority. Boom.
You are the.
You're the dude. Come on.
You're the bird in hand, right?
You are the bird in hand.
And the phone rings, and they put you on hold.
Fuck that
and
shit.
answer the phone.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, that noise.
My go-to reaction is just turn around and walk out. If I've already booked a room in the hotel, I can get quite annoyed about that. Because then they're talking to somebody about some shit.
Yeah.
Or it's his mother or whatever.
Yeah.
And let that fucker ring.
Yeah.
I I'm right here.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it, yeah. So to triage this, which by the by, I don't know if you've noticed on the chat,
Have lots
I have
of-
been vindication.
Indication. Donald Libby's okay with it. You're a medical professional. What do you know about this?
Look, verb, assigned degrees of urgency, which is
Verb assigned degrees of urgency. Triage. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Vindication.
vindication.
Vindication is yours.
Muting WhatsApp chats, I think, is also truly important.
Muting. Oh,
There's
yes.
a lot of that conversation that you just do not need to be a part of. It's
Yes.
a big party. There's a lot of side conversations. Fuck.
Like WhatsApp groups is just putting them on no sound,
Yeah. But WhatsApp has its own etiquette.
I guess.
So I want to get back around to the phone call because I think there's something also interesting about what's been happening now that we've been living so much on Zoom that very often, sometimes what could have been a phone call has now become a Zoom
This is true. Yes. Oh, yes.
call. And that video telephony, Skype and whatnot, before the pandemic, had never really taken off. And I remember, I think maybe I was even talking to Andrew about this, or maybe it was an article by Kurzweil or some, one of those futurists, just talking about the idea of telephony, of video telephony, not working because of that wonderful thing that we have when we're on the phone
Yeah, you can be naked.
and you can be doing whatever the hell you
Yeah.
want, and because everything you say is gold, and whatever the other person is telling you is background noise for whatever the hell it is you're doing.
Yeah.
But with video telephony, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And we have to give so much attention. We
Yeah.
have to give so much energy to what's happening.
Yeah, totally.
And so,
And that's the big fall down with video telephone calls.
yeah,
Video calls. Video phoning.
yeah, yeah. And so with the telephone etiquette of today, sometimes now we're going to Zoom instead of keeping that shit on
Yeah.
the telephone. And I've really been enjoying phone calls. I've had a few, and it's just kind of nice to have that person in the room with you. And I'm at home alone, so I've been holding it like a piece
Like
of
a pizza?
toast.
Like a piece of
like a piece of
pizza?
pizza. Yeah. Because then I can lay down on the bed, just put it on my chest and just talk to the person or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zoom fatigue is what
Totally,
Andrew's
Zoom
talking
fatigue
about.
is like a big thing, and also when you're in a Zoom call with 5 or 6 other people, it's so difficult to get a word in edgewise because everybody wants to talk at the same time, and it's strange because we've been doing Zoom calls with 5 or 6 people for so long now, or at least I have, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of have the feeling that nobody's learning how this medium works. It's like everybody always talking at once.
It is an amazing exercise in practicing your patience, I find. I think it also shows how minimal conversations can be.
Yes.
I wish there was a Zoom etiquette of letting somebody know their time is up.
Oh yeah, this is good. But this is good.
Like if there a red light, or like you stop explaining, or someday, maybe soon, Andrew will be able to tell us when this will happen, where people will truly be able to talk over one another without it fucking up. And
So if we're all connected
this-
via USB, if we're all permanently connected in both directions via USB, we can talk over each other as much as we like and not miss anything of the conversation. And I hope that's where we're going. Right, Andrew? That's
Sure.
where we're going. We're all going to have
we're all gonna have
USB up our asses and connected to the internet, full stop. Shit's going to be going both ways.
Yeah. I think the thing is that I wonder if I will miss sometimes the stillness that you have to practice. Because I've also been in conversations on Zoom with lots of people where there's such a massive amount of attention given to the whole situation, so people are really on about passing the buck. It can work. I did this wonderful thing, this reading. I did the drunk reading. Did we talk about that last time? I can't remember.
A drinking game.
A drinking game, exactly. A drinking game Vienna, where we did on the 31st of October on Halloween, we did a drunken reading
Beetlejuice?
of Beetlejuice, yeah, which was great. And that really worked really well. But there are some times where conversations where people can be very good about it, but the practicing your patience, I wonder if I'll miss that when we can talk over each other. I don't know. You know what?
My mom and I have been talking over each other since the day I was born, and I don't think any kind of Zoom etiquette is going to change anything about that when I'm on the phone with her. I'm cutting this short now because we've been talking about telephone etiquette for half an hour.
I think it's time to move on.
And I think we need to move on. And I think we need to address the elephant in the room.
Well, time out. Before anything happens, can we have a little bit of break music?
No.
Oh.
No, because we spent too much time fucking around with other shit.
I see.
We have no options.
I see.
We can try messing with what's going right now, and we might have to restart the whole thing. So let's not
then
go
let's
there.
not do that. Then time out. Let's just take a moment.
Go
A moment of
Yes. Everybody.
to think about how well we did on that first part,
Yes.
and then be so hopeful about the next part.
Yes.
Okay.
That was good.
That was nice.
I feel better.
I do too.
So,
It should be about something. This is Michael Smolik,
and this is Jim Libby.
and we are now on to part 2 of
The
3
elephant.
parts. Michael needs to talk about the elephant.
The USA has a new president-elect. Well, president-elect. That's what he's called.
Maybe you should have said the donkey in the room.
The donkey in the room.
Yeah.
That's the other guy.
Republicans are elephants. Democrats are donkeys. He's South African. He lives in Austria. No one expects him to know this.
Except you.
I did not expect him to know this.
Online. So you were setting me up for a joke.
I didn't know.
These
that
are my
this is-
friends.
I didn't know that.
Donna?
I didn't know this is where you were going with this. I wasn't aware of your segue with the whole
Oh, I see.
elephant in the room.
Right, okay. So I've got to say, I'm
Yes.
happy that Mr. Trump is no longer going to be the US president. Really happy about that.
Yeah.
Can't say I'm too happy about Joe Biden being the next president, though.
But it is a step.
It's like a step in the right direction, but it's like,
It's not a big step.
it's not a big step. It's like when Trump became president, the USA took 5 steps back. Now Biden's president, it's like they've taken a half a step or a step forward again.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like.
Yeah. And it's really weird. And it's really, for me, it's really weird to, be sitting between these two stools, to be seeing how that whole process that y'all are going through, to be seeing that played out from this perspective, but then also to get inside perspective, because a lot of the news that we get is coming from American outlets.
Yeah.
But I think how those outlets get portrayed, the inside view and the outside view, whatever's inside your ring and whatever is outside of that, it's very different. And
Yeah.
I think it's super weird. And so it's a very weird place to be for everyone.
It's easier to step back than step forward. Yes, because you're quite right, Verena, and I think this is something that oh God, this is a huge can of worms. But what the USA needs, in my opinion, is to move forward like a whole bunch of steps.
Yeah.
And the only way that's going to happen is if the Democrats finally get their asses into gear and get a progressive guy up
Yeah.
as the presidential candidate. And they've not managed to do that 2 elections in a row.
Yeah.
They lost, as far as I'm concerned, they lost big Hillary when Hillary was up against Trump, because they got Hillary in and so many people didn't want to vote for her because she wasn't progressive enough. She was too much establishment and what they didn't want, right? So Trump got it. And now it's kind of been the same thing. The only reason that Biden has won this is because Trump is just such a terrible choice. But he's like the most conservative guy they could find in the Democratic Party.
Well, yeah. I mean, and the fact that he was the vice president.
Sure.
There's a lot of reasons why they chose him, and I don't agree with a lot of them. And I think a lot of, not even liberal, I think just a lot of Europe, at least the German-speaking world, would love to have seen Bernie been a candidate, because he's the most progressive of that field that had been there.
Oh, I think Europe in general and a whole lot of other countries as well.
In any case,
I mean, not Hungary.
Not Poland. Jesus Christ, fuck Hungary. God damn them. What the hell are they doing? And why are we...
It's like Hungary is the Brazil of Europe.
Hungary is the one that needs to have Brexit. God damn them. In any case...
Oh, those poor people.
In any case, I guess I just want to say, yes, I'm very happy as well that Biden won. I'm very happy that Ms. Harris is going to be our vice president. I'm very happy that we're going to step away from a lot of the fear and misrepresentation, and I really hope that in this duopoly that they can be as progressive as possible beyond being a Biden. So, and that other parts of the Democratic Party will push and push and push and push. And then
I found myself thinking, Biden's so old. What if he dies like in February? Kamala Harris is president.
I think, oh God, there's just, I don't even want to go that far in the future. Jesus. When we were talking about the idea of talking about the president, I wondered, there's just too many things to talk about.
Andrew says, more of the same old politics is better than fascism.
I love that that's like a baseline.
But it's like, but how does that feel okay? That's the problem with it, Unfortunately, that's like, oh God, it's like, let the beatings continue as long as we're still alive.
Yeah, Hungary, fucking Poland,
and Verena's right about this. I think the Dems are really scared that they might lose completely if they got a progressive candidate, but they lost completely the last time that they put up a conservative candidate instead of a progressive candidate, right?
Yeah. And I
think they're just not getting it.
They're just not getting it. But I also think in some ways, years ago, I came up with a stupid character because I was so sick of friends that were like, well, I'm a fiscal conservative, but I'm a social liberal. I'm like, yeah, okay. Great, that's a very safe thing to be, right? I'm a social liberal. I want people to have good things, but I'm a fiscal conservative. And so I came up with this character where I
want people to have good things as part of your social liberalism.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
My head's doing things.
So I had this guy, and I was like, yeah, well, I'm a social conservative, but I'm a fiscal liberal. So I want to make sure, I want to fund a lot of things as long as the gays don't get it and the blacks don't get it and the trans people it's hard for them to get it, and just turned it around. And I would get laughs at parties playing that dude sometimes. But I think America has kind of turned into that. I think in a lot of ways the Republicans are really actually, that's what they used to be, socially liberal, but now they're just socially conservative and fiscally liberal because they would love to have a surplus check. They would love to have a little bit of bailout for the normal people. People really want that stuff. Florida has just, oh God damn it.
Yeah, but hasn't.
want
But
things to
with the,
change.
but yeah, but people obviously people
Yes.
want that trust. I want things to charge, but I don't want to pay. Yeah, I want things to change, but I don't want to pay for them. Yeah, I don't want to change so that things can change. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it was my joke. This is an old joke.
Still
20 years
my-
ago, I want things to get funded just as long as the blacks and the gays don't get it.
Yeah.
It sounds like a joke, but that's what they are talking
Yeah.
about nowadays.
But Andrew, you're so right about it. It's a warm blanket compared with what Trumpians want. Yes, but the warm blanket has not been washed in 40 years.
This is the most political we have ever gotten,
It's possible. Yeah.
and it's not even.
I don't know what it is with the Republican Party, because to me it seems like they're not even looking out for their own people anymore. Like they're not even looking out for the white conservative Christian straight people anymore.
Yeah.
It seems like they're only looking out for the corporations who want to keep getting away with what they're getting away with.
I was watching recently on YouTube a clip from The Late Show, A Late Show
Yeah.
with Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
And it was nice and it was funny and he's so charming and awesome. And then I left the room and I was doing something and I came back and I'd forgotten to stop it. And so YouTube was continuing on and the algorithm was playing other things. At one point I was like, it's all the same. And I'm not saying that he's repeating himself. It was all the same. There was
So was it
4 years of the same shit over and
Yeah.
over and over and over and over and over and over and
so
over.
it was
and over.
more late show.
Late Show, the same jokes. that could've-
episodes.
Yeah. And he said this, and then he fucking did that, and then he didn't do that, and it was just like, God damn it! And so the relief is for me very palpable,
Yes.
and I really hope that it happens.
Expecting a different, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. The thing is, though, that Mr. Trump doesn't do things over and over expecting a different outcome. He does things over and over and over because that's what his, that's his agenda. He keeps fucking things up for everybody else because that's his agenda. I was thinking about it today. You know, if you were playing that character, if you were asked to improvise that character, improvise a Mr. Trump, how would you go about it? And it's really easy. No matter what fork in the road you get to, the question you need to ask yourself is, what would a dick do? And then do that.
Well,
so playing that character would be the easiest thing. If a woman walks in the room, you touch her tits.
Yeah.
If a black person walks in the room, you make a racist joke. If somebody says, let's save the climate, you shoot them.
Yeah. I watched the Borat movie, the new one.
Oh.
And I'm glad it's there. I respect that man
Sacha Baron,
so much.
I respect him a lot since I've seen YouTube videos of him not being Borat.
Bye, Andrew. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Keep the faith. Don't waste too much energy on your Zoom calls. Just smile with your mouth.
Get some flying done.
I'm really glad that movie exists. I don't need to ever watch that movie again.
Right.
But I'm really glad it exists, and I respect him very much. And the thing that I wanted to say about the movie was that it is amazing that some of the jokes, horrible, just over the top, over the edge, push too far jokes that get told can only be told because you know about something that the President of the United States of America had done as context for the fucking joke.
Yeah.
And it's just that's just how it is. And so
Yeah.
I'm so happy that that's not going to happen anymore. And God damn it.
Yeah. Okay, so America the free. Let's hope they take another step towards being free.
And I want them to be the
Yeah.
home of the brave, to continue to be brave in the face of that stuff, and to be brave in the face of a pandemic that is hitting them harder than anybody.
Yeah. You see, and
Harder
this
than
was actually
anybody.
something I was thinking about, is that now they have to wait until January for somebody to take better action on COVID-19. Because Trump, the baby that he is, I'd take bets on him fucking that shit up as much as he can until January. Because he knows he's out of office.
Oh,
It's
they'll be fucking it up.
Taking actual bad choices.
It is going to be a shit show until January.
Yeah.
And then after that, the shit show will continue. But at least the transfer of power will have happened. Please!
Yeah.
The home of the brave.
So,
This is...
but we're running out of time on this anyway, so I think we should move on to the next thing. Because
Michael, what has gotten into you?
well, you've
usually,
been talking and talking and...
usually when we're doing It Should Be About Something, and we're at Michael's studio, where we are right now, where we had worked on all the stuff that didn't work, we talk for hours. Michael usually is...
Yeah, but we don't usually go for longer than an hour and a half. And at this rate, we change topics or
Okay.
we're going to hit the sound barrier.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, obviously we could go on talking about Joe Biden.
Jeff fucking Vina
Hey, dude.
in
Speaking
the
of Dems.
fucking house.
AOC,
How you
yeah.
doing, brother? That is so nice that you have joined us.
Nice for joining us, man. Yeah, I'd love to see AOC as a president in 2024.
It's amazing how they try to vilify that woman, and she is so smart and so reflected and so calm and sachlich. Yeah, big fan. Big fan.
I think a huge amount has to happen in the Dem basis for that to happen.
Oh yeah.
Because she could be extremely popular. The Democratic voters could want to vote for her, and the Democratic Party would still choose not to let her run.
Yeah. Got to pay her dues. I don't know. There's a lot between now and then, and I don't even want to think of it.
Yeah.
But she is brilliant, and yeah, we're down with it.
He's
down
doing
with
this.
AOC. Yeah, you know me. There was a
So,
90s reference
yeah,
for you there.
it'd be really nice if she was the first female president of the United States. Wouldn't that be something? Unless Joe Biden dies and Kamala's the first.
So,
You know, if Kamala becomes president, it might be like begging Alexander to become president.
Jesus.
Like, please, save us.
Imagine what's going to happen then. Let's just take that for a second. Think about what happened when America elected their first black president, and what had to happen because that happened. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
I thought we were done with this. Can we have a moment of Om?
Yes, please. Let's everybody go to a moment of Om.
Let's take a deep breath and do it.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I feel much better. It works every time.
It should be about something. Tonight brought to you in 3 parts. This is part number 3. That's Michael Smolik.
And that's Jim Libby.
Part number 3, Michael. Do you have
City
a
or
segue?
country?
Oh, you just let it out there.
No,
All right.
I'm just going straight out there. Well, no, I don't have. It's too late for a segue now.
Okay, good. City or country? What we're talking about is, would you rather live in the city or would you rather live in the country?
Okay.
Have you done both, Michael?
No, I think I've always lived in the city.
Right.
But I'm kind of getting to the point in my life where I could consider living in the country. Like it's definitely something that I'm considering. If I found a sweet opportunity, I think I'd move.
What is the allure for somebody who's grown up in the city? You've seen the ups, you've seen the downs, you know the ins and the outs. What is the dream?
Oh. How good do we look? Oh, we look okay. It's all right.
What is the dream? The light hasn't gone out yet.
Oh, wait.
What is the dream of the country? Oh, it's much darker.
It is darker. Crap.
Michael's light went out.
Did the other one go out as well?
No, the other one's still on.
Okay, so we're gonna do
it's so moody.
the dream sequence of city or country life. Okay, so
What's the dream? What do you expect to be awaiting you in your life in the country?
I'm gonna have my own workshop.
I see. So it's.
Oh no way! You're kidding me!
Look how good this looks, though.
I love the way they both conk out at exactly the same moment.
Yeah, they must have been. They must have been charged at the same moment.
They were. That means that one's going to conk out as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm going to keep talking because this is a room mic. So, and
Just take it with you.
Put up some lights. Nah, I'm going to trip over the wire.
Okay.
So, what I want when I move to the country is I want to have a workshop. I want a place where I can have my tools and do my shit.
Right.
And not have to put everything away every time I touch it or do everything.
Right.
And I want to have a workbench where I can just leave my stuff out and come back to it tomorrow and continue on instead of have to pack everything away and then not knowing where the fuck it is and restarting everything every time I do it. It's going to be so great.
Hi. Sorry. That was a fascinating report from Michael Smolik. And now we're going to the weather. Well, apropos to whatever the fuck you were talking about, I think one of the biggest adjustments that have to be made is that. You know, I mean, if what the hell, if you think that happening there, I mean how much of that reality is the reality? I think there's often this, the grass is always greener over the septic tank aspect that we forget that if you can completely upend it and go, then great. But for me...
Oh, no. It's not like everything is going to be hunky-dory. It means I'm going to have things that I don't have now that I want to have. There's going to be a whole shitload of other things I'm going to have to deal with that I'm not going to be happy about.
Right.
Like living in the country.
Right.
There's a ton of things that are really wrong with that, man. I'm not saying it's all going to be super hunky-dory, but I've got to the point where and do you notice how bright these are?
Yes.
Because now they're on the juice.
Because now they're on the juice.
Yeah. Take them down a bit. And we didn't notice that.
No. I like this. This is kind of cool. So, but so the thing is that it can't. Whatever your fantasy of the country is never going to be able to compete. So, if you had to choose right now, you would say, "Oh, I want to live in the country," because that's the fantasy. But I have lived in the country.
Yeah. Okay, what are we talking about when you say country? Are we talking about...
I'm talking about the country, man. I'm talking about...
We're talking about the sticks.
I'm talking about the sticks. I'm talking about I had to walk 3/4 of a mile to get to my school bus stop.
Okay, I'm not talking about that.
2 miles to get to the nearest place that could sell you something.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
That's not country? That's country.
That's
I'm,
that's 2 centuries ago.
No, it's still country. But
Okay. I think, so let's define what country is.
It's outside of the city.
Yes.
I'm not
But this could mean that it could be in a town outside of the city. It doesn't mean it's like the only inhabited spot on a map within 2 miles.
Okay, I think of it as you have to be in an area outside of the city where the houses, the dichte, the density of the houses is much less, so that you are at least in private homeland.
Yeah, I'm talking private homeland.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking. I'm not talking. You can't see the neighbor's house.
I'm saying like no. You can see the neighbor's house.
But it's not over there.
A little over there, it should be. I don't think country is living in Land. Like Salzburg Land is often not the country, but there are places that are for me country. I think for me country has got to be there's got to be a distance between you and the next house.
No, that's definitely not what I'm talking about.
Okay, you're talking.
I'm not leaving. I don't want to leave civilization.
Like
completely.
Retz, for example, is not for me living in the country.
That's what I was talking about.
Right. Okay. So
in fact,
that's for me living in a town.
I see. Okay.
So living in a town is for me different from living. I mean, of course, it's different from living in a city. Absolutely. So, it's something between.
Yeah, but what you're talking about,
about
is like living on a plot outside of a municipality.
Where I grew up, for example, in the little development, which was in the middle of nothing, you had at least 1 acre of land around you.
Yeah.
Which butted up to the next person who had at least 1 acre of land. So you had at least an acre between you, right? That's the country.
Yeah, that's not what I mean by living in the country. I mean, look, if I found a plot with a nice house on it and it was really out there, and I could do all the things that I want to do, like set up a studio and have a...
Which is what I was getting at, Pavlovstock. Yes.
It's way more difficult to find that in Europe, Pavlov.
You can still find it.
You can still find it. And I've been to places, and it's not really what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Because, and obviously I was talking about...
You're talking about small town
being here, like what...
The difference between Vienna
living in Vienna and living outside of Vienna.
And living in Kvöl.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about living in Linz. I'm talking about living a little town outside of the city.
Living in a small community outside of a major city, right?
That's right. Which is far more
like
common
in driving distance from a major city or something like that. Like in a small community.
Yeah.
I would live on a plot. I mean, I've lived on a plot before. I've lived on a farm.
I'm having a major deja vu.
And there are definite upsides to living on a farm. Besides all the extra work.
Let's do a poll. Everybody, type in city or country.
Yeah.
Let's do the poll. Let's see what the consensus.
I think we also have to go for like. There's 3 things.
3 things.
City, outside city, or country, so that we actually have that little community.
City,
outside.
Town, country.
Yeah, city, town, or country. Yeah.
City, town, country.
So I'm.
City, town, country.
I'm more for town. I'd like to live in a small town.
I want to live in the Fluss.
And the plot, I mean, you can basically, if you live in a plot, you can do anything you want. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you have more autonomy because you're not beholden to compromise to neighbors.
You can make your own sunshine.
Right.
You know, the neighbors don't know what you're doing.
Right. And where I grew up, that was very common. So you would go to somebody's house and they would have half an acre of marijuana growing because nobody around, or this person's got 3 llamas.
You know what I saw? I was flying somewhere, and it might have been the last time I went on holiday, and we left Vienna,
Right.
And we fly up, and there's these cornfields.
Right.
And right in the middle of one of these cornfields was a rectangular green space. It was like way in the middle of this huge cornfield.
Wonder what that is. All right, so it's coming in. So we got
City, possibly suburbia.
City, living in the city, weekends and holidays in the country. Yeah.
I knew
I like
that.
Verina's style. I like her style. Yeah. Best of both worlds, absolutely.
Weekend holidays in the country, yeah.
Small ocean town near a city. See, anybody that loves living in this little town, they want to be near a city. Even if you live in the country, you want to be near a city.
Of course you do.
right?
Of course you do.
So do you? Yeah. Because cities are awesome. But
There are awesome things about cities. I'm not saying I want to go and live out. Okay, Pavlov. So
All right, wait.
friends of mine.
wait, sorry. I just need to say, Christina Laus, city single or couple life, country with kids, like to Italy. I like your style too. That's the way to do it. Yeah. We need more money.
We definitely need more budget for a ton of things.
We need more budget for that.
Way more budget. And this is a whole new Isbaz actually, because I had one of my uncles kind of thing, right? From my mom's side of the family.
Right.
He had this theory that as a young person, you should earn a ton of money. And the older you get, the less money you get.
Okay.
So that when you're young and you want to do all these things,
Yeah.
like travel the world and
Yeah.
buy a house and have a million kids, you should have money to be able to fund all that shit. And the older you get,
yourself.
exactly. And the older you get,
Later than you think.
the less your needs are, the
Yeah.
less money you get.
I hear you. The Benjamin Button style
kind of.
of finance. I basically lived my entire life that way, though. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but you've been living over your budget. What I'm saying is, I'm
my
going to give
entire
you,
life.
I'm going to give you budget to do that.
I hear
you wouldn't
you.
have to live above the budget.
One day, not in the red.
Joe Biden's not going to give you that. AOC maybe. Okay, but let's go back to.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you like. Some people despise city life. I couldn't live without culture and social life a city offers. Yeah, and that's what I mean, is that everybody wants to live near the city. A lot of people don't necessarily want to live in it. I lived in the country and in the city. I love living in cities, I have found, because my dream of living in the country, I think, is like your dream of living in the country. In my dream of living in the country, I am wealthy. And so it's very easy for me to live in the country because I can then I have the resources to do all that wonderful stuff that that autonomy affords you.
Yeah.
And my country is right near the city, so I can just pop in whenever I want. So that my fantasy of town life or country life,
Yeah.
it's like the first 15 minutes of, it's whatever. And I was just thinking of Beetlejuice, but it's not the first 15 minutes, because the first 15 minutes were crazy. In any case, that being rich is a big part of that. I find being poor the way I am, I can afford to live in a wonderful way in the city. I'm sure other people would say, but you can live even better in the country.
But you just wouldn't be in the city.
And then you're not
Man.
in the city.
There are places in Austria that are so cheap to live in.
Yeah.
A friend of mine bought a house in the Waldviertel a couple of years ago for what I have, for less than half of what I've paid in rent
Oh, sure.
in the past 10 years.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. There's a great website.
Less than a quarter of what I've paid in rent.
There's a great website. I'm going to put it, if I can. Can I do this? I'm going to put it in the chat. It's called Expatistan.
Downton Abbey. Yes, Downton Abbey. I was thinking Downton Abbey as well, Kathy.
Check out Expatistan. I think it's expatistan.com, perhaps. But you can put in two cities and compare their cost of living expenses. It's amazing how well Vienna does.
Yeah.
Vienna
Yeah.
does, spoiler, Vienna does very well. But if you ever thought about living anywhere else, or just thought, how much would it cost compared to living in Vienna? How much would it cost to live in Burbank, California, or in Ho Chi Minh City, or in, does Ho Chi Minh City actually exist anymore?
It might not be called Ho Chi Minh City anymore.
Probably not. Saigon?
Not the same thing.
Thank God.
But Andrew's offline. We don't know. We will never know.
We'll never know. No one will ever know. In any case, check out expatistan.com because then you can compare those things. And Vienna does very well. That's the... Yeah, and so my dream is to have that big and beautiful, and I hope someday we can all do that. Let's all go out and buy a town.
Like in Monopoly.
No, like in the Wild West. Like let's just buy a town.
Yeah.
And everyone has... You can be the baker. Sorry. I'll be the butcher. The butcher, the baker, and we need
The candlestick maker.
Kathy, can you be the candlestick maker? It's still called Ho Chi Minh. See?
Yeah.
Thank
But
you,
it's not,
Pavlov's
it's not
dog.
the same thing as Saigon.
No.
Yeah.
No, but that was when I was in the Zweifel.
That's right.
Okay, I think we've talked about the whole thing. We've gone over our hour. You want to keep going? Do you want to keep talking about country and city, Michael? Do you have anything more to say about it?
There was a time about 10 or 15 years ago in Vienna,
Yes.
before all this development started taking place, where some of the things that I want to do
Yes.
in the country would have been way easier to do here.
Right.
Like, if I'd made the right choices back then, if I'd rented the right space or maybe bought something
Yeah.
10 or 15 years ago,
Yeah.
then I wouldn't be thinking, fuck, I wish I had a workshop. Because I'd have a workshop. And it wouldn't cost me an arm and a leg. But finally, get a workshop today, right? It's virtually impossible. If you want a workshop in Vienna, you need to be like on the edges somewhere.
Yeah, you got to luck into that shit. So much is opportunity. It's that combination of opportunity and preparedness for the opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, how often have we lucked into things?
Yeah, sure.
Things that, I mean, Jesus Christ, the English lovers themselves, it was a serendipity. And I think so much of that stuff, it's like, is it fate that, that certain things happen? Or is it just, well, that actually just grew out of that, I don't know. I hear you.
You miss the number 15 bus and your life changes.
Yeah, totally. If I had gone right instead of left,
Yeah.
if I had, yeah.
Yeah. And then you walk around your entire life saying, what the fuck didn't I run for that bus?
Pavlov's dog. According to Know It All Wiki, now Ho Chi Minh, once called Saigon.
Really? Okay.
Vindication!
Double vindication
Oh,
in one
man!
show.
This not just a pretty face, people.
Yeah.
It's got the whole
Wait a
thing
minute.
going.
Who said it was a pretty face?
People. People have said that.
Donna, are you still online? You made this.
Oh, by the way, I want to give a shout out to my mom who sent me a wonderful thing for my birthday. It was a little computer table. It works a charm. It's perfect. Thank you very much. You're very sweet. And yes, I will try to think of something for Christmas. I have a hard time
But
doing
in the
it.
meantime, we're going to be coming to you from that little computer table next week.
Are we?
We decided that.
Did
today.
we?
Yeah.
I think you just decided that
I need
right
to check
now.
out this shit.
I think you just decided that right now. Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Let's go.
All right. Then, unless anybody has anything that they need to get off their chest, any problems, praise, parasols?
You were great.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
It's like
all.
nobody could do. I think this has been the best show you've ever done. It's been the best It Should Be About Something ever.
Okay, can we start saying that after every episode? And just make that our
We
thing.
can just go back to the old shows, splice it in there.
And just starting now.
Yeah, this has been the best one.
This is
This has
the
been the best one, and you've never been better.
Michael, you have never been better.
Thank you. Thank you.
This was
and
awesome.
even when the lights died, it was a better show than we did last week.
Dude, when you see what happened, thank you all, everybody, so very much. And yeah, exactly, the Thursday night ritual. Let's keep it rocking.
So,
We'll be at my house next time.
we will be. We'll be at Jim's place. All you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for helping us do this.
Big shout out to Belush. Thank you again, brother, for joining us this time, and thank you for the music. Thank you for
the music, the songs we're
Shall we go out with an
No, I think we should go out with some Belush.
All right.
Let's go out with some Belush music. Yeah, there we go. So, okay, so
Can you do that?
we're still here.
All right.
I was
We're
just
saying
saying-
goodnight.
You guys,
We're
thank you for
waving
being
at
here.
the camera.
Waving at the camera.
just like
doing,
Verena.
this is a Zoom.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, Verena. Bye, everybody else.
Jeff, we're going to talk to you again soon, man.
The fuck?
Glad to know that
There we
you're
are.
well.
Okay, bye.